Hello and welcome to the Overnight Code. This tutorial is going to cover a lot more of the Flatsome theme installation. We're working on a shop called Charmify.co. If you're just now tuning in, that's fine. We've got a couple tutorial videos before this, or you can just jump right in. This tutorial is going to cover a little bit of the UX page builder, adding elements and layout content. We're going to cover the Woocommerce setup, just the basic setup for this particular site to get me up and running. Some of the widgets, editing some of the existing pages that we have, the contact form, and we're going to fix up our footer just a little bit, as well as our menu schema a little bit, and then the slider at the top. So that should cover a lot of what we're also going to cover some of the UX page builder pages that we existingly already have. So I know that we're going to be covering a lot here, so let's just jump right in. So first on the list is the UX page builder. We already said that Flatsome comes with this awesome page builder. I tried to find some more themes that were using this currently. They almost seem to be non-existent, or maybe I'm looking in the wrong section. But for those of you who are using this UX page builder, it's really got a lot of great options. So if you're using Flatsome, we're just going to go to one of the pages. This can be done on the post as well. But for now, we're pages. I just clicked Add New. I'm going to go over to the UX Builder. So I'm just on a blank page. We're just going to mess around with some of these UX Builder commands so that you're a little bit more comfortable with, more experimenting on your own, kind of seeing what the setup is there. So the first thing that happens is this pops up a page. It kind of looks like my own page starting at the top, and then that's where that stops. So add elements, and then we can also insert like a pre-made template. A lot of these look like you would use them on the home page or like a splash page. Like maybe this wouldn't necessarily be like an about page. That'd more be maybe you can kind of switch them up, but a lot of these look like their main page templates. So I never use them. I mean, if I had something that I could use one of these templates on, by all means I would. So we're just going to start off by adding, using a blank template. So I've got nothing here. I'm just going to add elements. Now, as soon as I click that, I've got this nice bar on the left here that pulls up, allows me to search for elements if I'm familiar with elements that I've already used. In this case, we're not. So let's go ahead and start just kind of looking at what we've got. Things for the layout, kind of suggesting the layout area, and then suggesting the content area. So inside your layout, what did you want? It's got all these nice pieces. For the shop, anything shop related would be here. And then your elements or your scroll to buttons, obviously is your element, would be here if you wanted to add something like that. But for now, we're just going to scroll all the way to the top. We're going to use just a row. I can define either a row, a section, a slider, a block, or a grid, or widget area. So for my row, when I clicked that, it brought me to another page that actually said, hey, what type of row do you want? How do you want it spaced? So 3 columns is really nice. 2 columns is nice. Maybe you have, and you're thinking about your page, and your page layout would have 4 columns, and you just kind of can pick what you would want. Large media left. So maybe you have a large media item left, and then you've got your content on the right, and then like so. I kind of like these shadow elements, or maybe some images up here, and they already have the shadow. That's pretty cool. But for now, I'm just going to select 3 columns, and that would be my row with 3 columns, and I'll apply that. And as soon as you hit apply, you get some more options. It's actually going to let you do a little bit more. You've got the enter the admin label here. I believe this is a label that is not going to be seen. It's more for the admin to let you know, hey, what this row is called. When I save that, you can see what happened here. I've got a row called KKSDF that nobody really sees the KKSDF, but this is more of a description of what this row is, so I don't have to click on it every time and be like, oh, it's that 3 image row, or that 3 column row. So I'm going to go ahead and change that options. I'm going to change that to, well, let's call it top row for now because I'm not sure exactly what we're doing. It also has some other options, whether I want some spacing, you want a large spacing, column style, do you want them divided? Now you can see the divider in the middle, dashed, now it's dashed in the middle here, solid line. Column backgrounds, do you want something in the background? So I could do like a dark element here, or even better, I could use my color from up top here that I just pasted in there. The container width, right now it is contained. Do custom, full, container, alignment, vertical, alignment. Obviously you can go down some of these settings here. You can also change the class. If you're into styling in CSS, you want to do your own, you could give it an extra class name and then use that class name later. For now, we're just going to apply. I've got the row that I want called top row, and then it brings me back to this screen. So my top row is here, and that's it. I can expand it, and then inside that column, or inside that top row, I have 3 columns. So this is, we use kind of like a bootstrap format, which is, it's like got 12 pieces in here. So if I were to set this, I could fit one, you know what, I don't want to get you too confused. So right now I have a 4 out of 12 piece, a 4 out of 12 piece, and a 4 out of 12 piece, obviously equaling the whole 12 out of 12 piece. So it'll always be like that in here. And just keep that in mind. So that's why this is split up column 4 to 12. So that's my first column. Now inside my first column, if I were to click edit, click on the options, now what do I want inside that column? Or how do I want that, how do I want that column defined? You know, what is there something in specific? Maybe I wanted a 3 column, and you see how that's shortened up. Maybe I still want 3 columns, but I'm making this first one, it's not equal to the others. I am going to set that equal to the others, so all of them are equal, 4, 4, and 4. There's a lot more specific styling I can do with just this column here, because that's the column I'm working on. And specifically, you know, that's pretty much it. So there's a lot of styling that, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do that. I didn't have to switch to use the blue. I would have still had the gray. But then from there, what do you want inside each one? As I hover over them, I get this plus symbol here where I can add something inside the column. So yeah, I did set 3 columns, but now I need something inside the columns. For now, I am just going to do an image. So I've got an image in here. What image do I want to put in here? Brings me to my next screen. I'll select the media. And see, this is really fun. It can go a long ways. So I'm just going to select whatever I already have in my media library. I'm going to use this image. It's going to pop up a nice, well, not so nice blue image there when it's done. So what we're going to see is maybe the preview isn't going to show us the image, but when I hit apply, maybe I wanted some other things. Maybe I wanted to link to something. I would put the link here. Just click apply. So now if you were to click on the image in column 1, we're hoping that it takes you to google.com. So when I update this, we want to actually... let's update it here too. I want to preview. Perfect. So we're seeing the same thing that we said. We said we wanted the solid dividers, which in this case, until those are filled up, it's kind of going to look, you know, that looks a little off, but this is doing exactly what we wanted. This is the first column. We put that image in it. It's clickable. It takes me over to Google. And those are just kind of bits and pieces of what I wanted. So the best way to do this is I set up your layout maybe on paper, say, hey, this is kind of what I want my layout to look like. And then you go back and find those pieces and the bits on the UX builder that you actually want. So maybe I wanted 3 columns. I just wanted 3 images. I don't really want that blue background. Those would stand out almost like these do. You know, these are, it's almost the same here. Not that we like that background color or anything like that, but we're going to put images in there. But you easily see how you can work with this. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this for now. I do want to add another element, just kind of playing around. If I wanted to add a slider, same thing. It's going to say add slides here, but it brings me to my next page. This is my admin label, remember? So this is my description slider. Gives me some styling. For now, I'm just going to leave all those the same, and then bam, add the slider. So I haven't added anything to the slider, but my next option would be to add my slides. Well, what kind of slides did I want? Did I want a banner with, it's obviously got some text here and a button. You don't have to add the text here and the button. You can do an image, an Acme logo. You can do, and then also break it down into different sections and stuff like that. So maybe I wanted a banner, but I wanted a 3-row banner, and then inside each one of those rows or columns, you know, I wanted something else, or a 1-row. You see what I'm saying? Awesome. So let's just go ahead and select banner. After I do that, it gives me my next set of options, making it really easy to go ahead and pick what I want. The buttons on the right, buttons on the left. Maybe I want the box on the left. I'm noticing that, you know, I would actually like a full width slider because this is kind of, you know, cropping it off. So can we? kind of play with some of these options to get what we want. So yeah, this is the slider. By all means, let's not spend too much time there. Defining each one of these is the same way. You can double click on them like we talked about previously, or you could actually go into each one like we've just discussed here. Now, this is the text box, options, bring up the options this way. Once you have it on the page, really easy just to double click, start switching out some of your stuff. If you don't want a headline, you don't have to use it. Maybe you don't want the button here. So you're like, hey, I don't want this primary first button. I'll just delete it. Now you'll only have your secondary button, so on and so forth. So that's the UX Page Builder, really taking you in. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff you could just dive into there and start working with. If you have any questions on something, please feel free to post them in the comments. I'll get to them and maybe cover it. But by all means, I just jump in there, open up a new page, and just start playing. Kind of get used to what you want to format. All right, so next on the list, I am going to move this to the trash for now, is Woocommerce. So Woocommerce can actually, I could do a whole video on Woocommerce itself, but clicking on Woocommerce brings me to, the Run Setup Wizard, which I'm actually going to use for this. Which makes it really easy. We've already got the pages defined for Woocommerce, I believe, are created for Woocommerce. I think we're just going to be making sure that they're all linked here. So clicking on that Woocommerce from the left menu brings me to this. As I'm starting the wizard, I'm going to let's go. Okay, I need a few pages. The shop, I already have those pages, so I'm going to skip. Like I said, I have those. From the previous video, if you watched, we loaded the demo content, which instantly brought that up. So here we are. The first thing is, where am I based? I am based in Florida. Which currency? Dollar. Which unit? Pounds. Perfect. So I'm going to continue, not skip, but continue. Will you be shipping products? Yes, I will be shipping. Will you be charging sales tax? For now, I'm not going to be charging sales tax. I am going to be shipping products. Payments. What payment method did I want? PayPal Standard. Check payments. PayPal Standard. Pop in my PayPal email address. You'll pop in yours. Continue. I'm going to do no thanks. And next is store's ready. Next steps is creating my first product. Well, because we did the demo content, we already have a product. So let's just return to the WordPress dashboard. And that was basically the quick setup. Really what we did was we made sure that we had the US dollar sign there. We made sure that we set up, we do want taxes here, or we do want the price here. We do want to put in the PayPal email. And that should have us at least set up and ready to rock when we click on one of these shop items. Well, it should. This one didn't have a price. Let me go back. Some of the demo content there. Huh? So this one did, $29. Should be ready to purchase. Take me all the way. Add to cart. It's in my cart. I want to check out. Perfect. So on my billing page, it's going to let me check out with PayPal, and I can proceed once this information is filled out. Awesome. So next on the list is widgets. Some of these pages already have the widgets. More importantly, it was the shop page that I was looking at. So on my shop page, I have some widgets here. The widgets being the sidebar that we have. It's already set up to use the left sidebar unless you've changed that in the theme options, which so far we haven't. Let's go ahead and see. We've got the browse and then recently viewed. And those are controlled here in appearance widgets. This is going to be your sidebar area for the entire site. In this section, sidebar, this is going to be the sidebar for your pages and posts. You can see this is just a sidebar block here. Ignore these. These are the available widgets on the left-hand side that you can add to your existing widgets. This is, one of your recent or first times using WordPress, or if you're just diving in, maybe you're not familiar with widgets, but you've got available widgets on the left, and then you've got your widgets or your widget placement areas on your right. So this is going to be the sidebar for the entire site. This is going to be the footer 1, footer 2, and footer 1 and footer 2 for the entire site, which we can see is the latest best-selling featured top, and then about us, latest, tags, newsletter. And if we look at the footer here, I'm gonna have to take a look at this. Let's come back to that. More importantly, the shop sidebar here, I see what's going on. And then the product sidebar here. So in the shop sidebar, we've already got some things, and I'm gonna pull all that out because this is the demo stuff. Some of this stuff isn't showing up because, I mean, we're not on those pages. So check this out. If I just put, let's just put a calendar over here. Click save. And when I refresh this page, now on the left side, I just have my calendar. So I know this is working. Not that I need a calendar. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But for my shop pages, what would I like to show on my shop pages? If we scroll down, maybe I want to show nothing. Top rated products. Yeah. But if I don't have any ratings, nothing will show. Woocommerce recently viewed. It's going to be for the Europe. Woocommerce. For now, we're just going to set up the product categories. I can put multiple things here. I'm going to leave the title the same, the name. I'm also going to Woocommerce products. Let's put some products in there. 5. I just want to show maybe featured products. Order by date, that's fine. Hide free products, yes. Shouldn't have any free products, which is in case the demo theme has some, we're gonna hide those. So save, and let's take a look at what we got. So for now, that might be fine. Yeah, maybe put the product categories down here because I actually didn't load them in the menu. So maybe leaving them there is great. But you can set this up with whatever widgets you wanted. These would actually be pictures once you have pictures on your product. Perfect. I'm gonna yank these out of here too. Oh, you know what this is? Remember how we have 2 footers here. We have footer 1, which was in our previous tutorial. This was footer 2, the pink, and then right above it we had footer 1, which is why I'm looking at that like, hey, what's going on here? So we're not using footer 1. I removed that, but we are using footer 2, which is about us, latest news, tags, and newsletter. About us, latest news, tags, and newsletter. For now, I am going to be all right with those. If I wanted to switch those, you already know we can just pull in something from the left, put it on the put it in on the right. To delete one from the right, obviously you just delete or move it off of there by scrolling, dropping it down over here. Awesome. Let's see what we've got set up. So that's the widgets. Perfect. Same thing with your page widgets. If you have widgets on a page and you want to set those, you'd just be looking at a different section, that primary sidebar section. Awesome. So the contact form we are looking at next. Or actually, you know what? We've got to edit existing pages and then the contact form. So to edit the existing pages, right now I'm on the home page. We've already talked about how you can easily change this to bracelets, rings, and necklaces, or change the font on here. That was in the previous tutorial, but we've also went over in this tutorial using that edit page, edit with UX Builder. So I'm already on the home page. I want to edit this page with the UX Builder. When I click on that, it's going to bring me right over to editing this page. I'm going to find some nice background images for this. I can click on this once. Here it is here. Here's my image. I can change that media. For now, we're going to leave it alone, but the UX Builder is allowing me to best-selling products. I'm going to change that over to top sellers. The actual products that are being showed here. If I click on this once, back it up because I don't want to be in style. I just want products. I want the options. This is making a lot more sense now that you've seen it. The options were the styling, the layout, the post. So more importantly, for products, you can do categories. Whoa. Awesome. We're going to go back here. I think we awesome. So you can easily see how it's the same thing. Page Builder. Sorry about that. I was looking at something and then trying to make it work. A lot of times this thing is fidgety. It's not hard to use, but just being consistent and knowing what you want and then coming in and actually adding that is going to be a lot easier than working with something existing. This, obviously, existing being really easy. With something like this, browse our categories, our top sellers. So here we have top sellers. I'm looking for it here. And then I have the products for those top sellers. So I actually have to go in and we want to define layout. This was the problem. Because I said, hey, category, I just want to be bracelets, but I want that to be out of the posts. I don't want anything from posts because really these are products. So here we have the filtered posts, but this is a little bit different. This is maybe post does work. More importantly, this one here, I can now order by sales. I want to do random. I'm hoping this is going to switch. Yeah, it is, and it's going to do a random. So more importantly, top sellers would be sales. If it was latest, you could do by date. You get alphabetically with title. But for now, we're going to do sales descending. Yes, so my top item going in. Perfect. Show all. And then back, I can just do featured items as well. If I tag them as featured, remember with Woocommerce, WooCommerce, we go into products. If you want to mark something as featured, and this is for all themes and all, simply click the star. So clicking the star, making it a full star there, makes this item featured. So we've got a couple featured items there. If you ever wanted to use that featured tag in something, perfect. Let's take a look at some of these other pages. Making sure that, you're going to be able to edit those as well. The About Us page is here, the Contact Us page here. Let's jump in there. This is the map. I'm going to edit this page with the UX Builder. They've already loaded some things in here. They've loaded a map at the top. Map with these coordinates, which seems to be an issue. You can grab your coordinates off Google. This is definitely want to have these right. Obviously, if these aren't right, you're going to get an issue like this. More importantly, I don't really like to use maps. I'm an online store. I don't usually have a location. But so if I wanted to switch this and maybe just use a slider instead, or maybe just like an image of people contacting. But more importantly, if you did want to use the map, by all means, it's here. You've got some things you can use like the height. I don't know, my online stores, I don't really use a map. So maybe I want a different template for this, or just remove that, like I said, that image up top. But if you did, it's there. You can add things to the map, but more importantly, we have a row down here that we talked about before. In this row, they use two columns. It's a 6x12 and a 6x12. Obviously, that makes it 12x12. On the left-hand side, they put a title, another title here. Here, that's the accordion panel to make their fact. So that's simply adding content. Like we talked about before, they added something, and when they added something, they added an accordion. So that was really easy to create their fact that kind of expanded out. And then on this side, we just have a title as well as some text. So this here, I want to edit, or what I want to do, I want to delete this, and instead I want to add, does this work? Form CF7, perfect. I gotta pick a form. I'll pick the contact form 1. What else do they have? Contact form flat. Now this is only because we imported the demo theme, so it already came with 5 contact forms or 4 contact forms. We're just gonna see I think I'm going to be using that. We don't want a newsletter. I want the contact form flat for this. And then apply. If you didn't have anything there and there was nothing to select, that just means that you haven't set up your contact form yet, which means if you were to go over to the dashboard and go to contact forms or contact, we use contact form 7 for this, which is auto imported. Like I said, it already created the ones that were here, but maybe you don't have one. You would just click add new. When you do create add new, it already comes, kind of with a preset. You can go ahead and save that preset. Actually add a title here. It titled it Untitled for me. I'm going to click Save. Now it would have something called Untitled with these fields. By all means, this is another plugin. We could go into days filling out this form. You can make it standard. You can remove, right now, you could remove the subject and just have, your name, email. You can actually create one from scratch if you wanted to create that, just from the get. More importantly, let's go to the contact forms that I had. I'm not going to go into, we use contact form flat. I want to go to the mail, and I want to make sure that my mail settings, did I use that? My mail settings are filled out. So they definitely aren't. We'll get into this more in depth in the next video, but obviously who does the mail go to when it's sent? That'll go to me, yahoo.com. Who is it from? It's from x@charmify.co, my site. What's the subject? Contact form request from charmify.co. That way, when I get this email, my email is going to be filled with spam that I don't know. This is exactly from my contact site. Additional headers, none for now, the message of my body. And it says clearly we can just copy these and use these as a, hey, what will I see? I'll see their name, I'll see whatever they put for their email, and I'll see whatever they put for their message. And I simply use the tags up here that were created in my form, those 3 tags. Make sure you save that, and you're all set to go. Perfect. Now that's just the basic setup. There's obviously a lot more we can do. I think for spam protection, they actually recommend that you use their email. So you'd be like, to your name dash at your email from their name, and using those additional headers so you don't qualify for spam as well. But the basic setup is exactly what we have. It's from, it's to, I want to see this. More importantly, the to. Always double check that you've tested your contact forms after you create it. If your mail server is working properly, you should be getting those emails, so double check that those are working before you go live. Nothing worse than people can't contact you, especially if you're missing out on sales. So that's it. Adding the contact form to... Did we save those? I hope we did. To the contact page, I've still got that. Yeah, perfect. So here's my contact page. I didn't find another map. I did put in the email, and we're set there. We talked about editing these bottom widgets. Obviously, I don't like that pink, but we know how to switch the colors. Remember, that was just as a base. If you didn't see the other video, I definitely recommend the other 2. But the Flatsome, then theme options. Remember, we said we could either go to styling, which is going to pop up here in a second, or we could do it in the footer, depending on, some of the changes were in the footer, light on dark, dark on light. The background color was in the footer. I changed it to the same color at the top, the same color I've been using for the rest of mine, which is this blue here, just by changing my color code here. I'd save that. We're good here. The footer's been changed down here. We talked about the tags here. Our post, latest post, we'll go over that right at the end of this. More importantly, that page was done. Contact form, footer editing. We've edited the widgets. Footer menu. So, in the start of this, what we did was we created 3 menus. It's the same menu here, the same menu here, and the same menu here. I don't necessarily want that. Just a reminder, if you go to the dashboard, appearance menus, I only have, I can tell because there's nothing here. I only have the main navigation, so there's no other options. For now, I'm going to create a new menu. I'm going to call this footer navigation, create menu. Perfect. Now I have two menus. I have a footer menu and I have a main navigation. So my footer menu, I'm going to select that, make sure I'm on that. It'll say, hey, you're in your footer menu. I can see it's blank here, nothing's inside. For this, I'm going to put maybe about and contact. I'm going to add that to my footer menu and then define it as the footer menu by clicking here, footer menu. I'm going to save that. Now when I'm looking at my main site, my footer menu is just the about and contact. Perfect. Same thing with the I don't necessarily mind the top menu being like that, but more importantly, I want to create a new menu. I'm going to call this main because my other one's called main navigation. I don't want to get that confused. I should call it top navigation, but I'm going to switch this. This is main. And in that main menu, I'm going to define this one. I don't want it to be my top bar, so that's it. Those are my main menus. And in that, I'm going to do home. I'm going to add that to the menu so it shows up here. I'm going to screen options. I'm going to pick products so I can see my products down here. That popped up here. I'm going to go ahead and expand those. Nope, I was wrong. I don't want products, I want product categories. So product categories, view all, bracelets, charms, necklaces, rings, add to menu. So now my menu is defined of those, which I kind of like a little bit better. You know, if I have 3 menu spots, I don't want them all to be the same thing. Let's refresh our page and check this out. So at the top, I still had the home, shop, about, and contact, but now I'm really broken down into my main menu has home, bracelets, charms, necklaces, and rings, which means I hope I have products that are bracelets, charms, necklaces, and rings, which I absolutely do not. And once I start creating those products and tagging them to those categories, let me just show you new product. Test product 1. This is my product, yada yada. But when I tag them here to a bracelet, a charm, a necklace, or a ring, you know, whatever it is, then it'll show up on that page. I'm just going to save this for now. It's got no image, no price, but it's a bracelet. And you can see here easily when I'm viewing. If I go to bracelets, I'll just see that one product. So now that I'm starting to create this, it's probably time to create all that, or delete all that dummy content. And I don't really need it. You know, the products, I have my stuff set up, so I probably delete everything on this page and the other pages as well. I just move to the trash, the first page, and so on. So I remove all those and start adding my products, which would give me an almost completed website. I mean, I have everything at the top done. We have the page content, how to switch this text out, how to switch these out. I've only got one category now with a product in it. As soon as I add more products to the other categories, my category will fill in here, that 4 column we were showing earlier. Perfect. It's beautiful. Kind of. The idea in your head is beautiful. You know, some of these changes I'm kind of skipped out on making because we're kind of going over the elements. And that's it. You know, one more thing for the I have created is when you start, we didn't do a logo or any of the styling options. Remember, that's going to be in Flatsome theme options. Oops, theme options. So I went to the header and then logo and site identity. This is where I could put in my logo. This is select a file. This is my light version of my logo image here. So I can select a file, and then if I have a light logo, if you use a darker transparent header, which we didn't, we could put it in here. Or let's just say when you scroll down, if your header bar would change to black for some reason, then yeah, you could use your light logo there. For all yeah, you know what? What I really want to do is see the dimensions of the top here. And if I click Inspect Element, right now my logo is about 32. So I think I can go with double that for now. I don't want to confuse you, but what I've done here is just a basic. I just used text font on Photoshop. Image crop, but you can use anything that you have. I don't want the background here. Image size, really easy. The height, I'm going to do 60 for now. Okay, it was 266 in width. I noticed that, and I'm going to save as a PNG so it's got no background to my desktop. I'm going to call it logo-1. Save. Okay, I said 266. So when I go back here, I'm going to set this to 266 to start. Maybe not because my mouse is funny. Select File, Upload Files. Looks a bit big. So I might have to redefine that image. For now, I'm going to go with 250. Just click Save. And see what we have. The logo does look a little bit big compared to what all the other stuff I have on the site, but at least you can get an idea of how to pop your logo in, whether you wanted it, you know. But awesome. So just the real quick basic stuff. I'm sure your site's going to look a lot better than mine. You're going to take a little bit of time. You're going to fill out these images. You know, as many images as you feel comfortable with. Obviously, some of these you didn't necessarily have to have images, but I think that this would look a lot better with, you know, images of necklaces, rings, or maybe pastels. I mean, whatever you want, light gray background. But have fun. I think that's it for this tutorial. If we're looking at, we went over the UX page builder, we went over the WooCommerce setup. We quickly touched the widgets that we're using on the page. We edited the existing pages. Same thing with the About page. You already know how to use the UX Builder. We talked a lot about that, so you can just come in and UX change or remove. Matter of fact, I'd be done. I'd add text here. I'd add text here. I'd remove this. This About Us page could be that simple. I mean, that easy. On the footer, we talked about that. We talked about the contact form, and I think that's going to be it. Make sure you guys are subscribing to our videos, and if you haven't already, check out the site. I'm putting all the videos up there, as well as some premium and not YouTube related content on there, and I'll see you soon.